All right, good afternoon, everybody. I apologize for being late. Normally, we're on time, but we got caught up in a massive traffic jam of enthusiasm at the Southwick Community Center. There was had about 100 kids in that had been doing well in school and perfect attendance, and the U of L football team showed up, and Academy Sports gave them all bicycles for Christmas. So it was a really nice event, and Lamar Jackson cruised in on his bicycle, so everybody got excited about that. And he struck the Heisman pose, and it was all good. Councilman Mulvihill, thank you for having us in your district here. Pat Mulvihill, one of our great council folks, great citizen here, comes from a family of great community service. So welcome everybody to the new Metro Public Works Operations Center. This is quite the upgrade for us here, and it's really going to be fun to see how we can do so many good things in our city. This center is the vision of our Public Works Director, Vanessa Burns, right here, and it's a great example of, yeah, let's hear it for Vanessa Burns. I think we first met each other. It was about 4 years ago, maybe at this time.
Yesterday was my 5th anniversary.
5th anniversary. This young lady was from Connecticut, thinking about coming down to Louisville to take this job, and she said, I'm not going to have the kind of snow problems we have in Connecticut, so anything we throw her way, she said that she could handle. But this facility comes out of her years of experience, basically being a public works professional here throughout the United States of America. So we appreciate your vision. Kathy Duncan, you and your team pulling all this together. That's great. And you can see, if I would like for our media to report how thrifty and frugal our folks are here. You can see the fine floor finishing that's here as well. So we're stretching our public dollars as much as we can while we solve two major city departments, problems for two major city departments. One, Public Works, and the other one, Animal Services. Public Works has had a really outdated central district facility across Newburgh Road next to the Animal House Adoption Center operated by Animal Services. And Animal Services has an outdated animal center off Manslick Road that looks somewhat like, does anybody remember, what was the show, Stalag 19? Yeah. You know, with Colonel Clinks, anybody remember that? Yeah, Stalag 13. Okay, that's what our animal shelter looks like off Manslick Road. It was kind of probably constructed in about the same era. And it's by the creek, so when it rains too much, you know, the water sometimes comes into the animal shelter, which means we need to evacuate the animals. It is not an efficient operation there. So in looking at these two problems, our facilities project team, under the leadership of Manager Dennis Arthur, we appreciate your good work, determined that rather than simply abandoning the old public works site when this new one was completed, we could use it to develop a new animal services site. So I'm talking about the facility across the road now. So we now have our Public Works Operations Center right here, and plans for the animal services facility across the street are nearly complete. So coordinating development of these two facilities, I believe, shows how we can save taxpayers money by leveraging the resources that we already have. And this allows us, obviously, to offer more efficient services to citizens and better working conditions for city employees while we are under the really specter of tightened federal budgets and tightened state budgets as well. All that flows down to the city in the term of unfunded mandates, so we need to be as efficient as we can with what we have. In this building, there's the signs and marking shop, which we'll get a chance to see in action here in a few minutes. Their old location, as an example, was on 2 floors, with storage on the first floor and sign fabrication on the second floor. That meant every time that a new sign needed to be made, somebody had to carry the blank heavy metal sign upstairs to the second floor by hand, which was had labor and also not the best safety situation. And once the signs were made, they had to carry them back down the stairs. So not only was that setup inefficient, it also posed a risk of injury to the workers carrying the heavy signs. And as you'll see shortly, the sign marking process now happens in a single room on a single floor, much more efficient. The electrical maintenance team that installs and maintains traffic signals used to have its poles and other supplies scattered at 3 locations across the city. Now they're all here in one place. The new salt dome can hold 5,000 tons of road salt for fighting snow That's up from 3,000 tons at the old site across the street. So it's quite an improvement in many ways. And on the subject of snow, as part of Director Burns' vision here, the Snow Command Team, which had been working out of Public Works Administration downtown, will now work from this room right here, along with any emergency operations command team. So I think Director Burns is going to give us a quick demonstration of how that will work. So Director Burns, we appreciate your good work. If you'd share a few words with us and show us how all this comes together here.
Well, Mr. Mayor, we are so excited as a department, and I think as Metro, because what you try to have us do is to provide service in an efficient way. And this building really does that for the city and for Metro. Because it will give us additional resources that will make us be as efficient as we can be in providing the service and knowing what resources and what problems in the areas. And so this EOC, as well as Central being located here, and as Sign Shop being located here. Sign Shop does a lot of stuff during flooding. So we are very appreciative of the mayor and the city council for providing us with the kinds of funds that we need in order to be able to give you the best service that we can do, best dollar for your buck. So what I'm going to do is we're going to quickly, because we know we've got to go on here, is we're going to talk a little bit about some changes in improving how we're going to provide that service delivery. And I know, Mayor, you talked about Snow Command, but in fact, what we're talking about is Public Works Command. So that in the event that we have bad weather of any kind, or a hurricane, or a tornado, which all those things have happened here in Louisville, or there's some real event that we have to be out there clearing the roadways. It's a way for us to do it operationally in a much more efficient manner. So we're going to quickly, I'm going to shoot you off to Scott Stepko, who's our new GIS supervisor, and he's the commander for Snow, we call it Snow Command. He's going to show us the kinds of things that we can do with the technology that we've installed here.
So as we get information in, they enter it in directly, which they'll show us kind of sort of what they do. Well, I'll kind of go through what they do. We'll get the route name, driver name, the treatment type, whether it's been salted or plowed, whether it's the first or the second pass, and the equipment number so we can kind of moderate and monitor what equipment is in use. So at the top, here's our familiar map that everybody has seen in the past. And as you can see, we've already been making what's obviously a mock snow event today. We've been making updates in certain areas as we just kind of went through a mock event last week, so we're just using the same data this week. In this map, we can see roads that have been plowed, as well as come up and get a brief view of, if I can find these. Very fast. We can see Trimark cameras. Pick one that hopefully is still functioning, because not all of them are functioning. We can look at, well, eventually. Several of these have taken offline recently.
But they're Trimark, they're
There we go. So we can click on a Trimark camera and see what traffic is actually like, or we can switch over and actually see traffic on the fly. So as we update that, if you'll look over this way, we now have integrated a dashboard that takes the statistics of all of the routes that are run and projects them on the screen. As you can see, the larger bars to the left and above the map is the overall total in individual districts, including parks, our vacant lots, and our swims, and then an overall total at the bottom. And then the map is also updated as we go. We also have on the right is broken down by each individual district or area. When we get to the point where we are making second passes, you can see that on the bottom, the color changes a little bit. So in this case, you can see that we've already are simulating that we've made a second pass on King Run and Dixie. Because typically we'll hit the thoroughfares pretty hard, pretty fast. Then if we just want to see a map that just strictly shows us what has had pass 2 line, we can switch over to a whole different dashboard. So this way we can track where we are still in our first run, where we're on our second run. We can track exactly how far along the route we have come and what we have put down on and what treatment has been done to it. And that pretty much is that. As far as the touch screen over here, this is more for our benefit. As we're here, we can keep, once we have some technology issues with Spectrum that I'm sure a lot of people are aware of already, we'll run live feed, probably from the National Weather Service or wherever Director Burns feels that it's best. And then we have the Kentucky Office of Geographic Information produces this really nice weather map that has all the state mesoNets locations in them. So as we're going in a snow command situation, we can literally see the air temperature, relative humidity, directions, et cetera, that are coming towards us. So we can kind of get a forecast of what's coming our way without having any news channel assistance. We can do a little forecasting on our own. So other than that, that's pretty much all the new technology that we have here. Oh, let's not forget about the web conferencing. Forgot all about that. At the top, that's Eric Bibb. He is with our IT department, Public Works. Say hello, Eric. Hello. At the bottom is Dan Logston. He is with EMA, and he is over at the Emergency Operations Center at EMA. So we can interact web conference with them as we're in any type of emergency event, which is really kind of neat for us. So it's really neat technology, and Director Burns has really had a great vision on how to bring all this together in an inexpensive way. And I want to tout the fact that we have a system here in the city, Logic, that produces all of the web mapping for us, and without their service, a lot of this is not possible, really. That's all I got.
The other thing that you can see here is that we are also going to have these TVs in our satellite places, like SWIMS has, they are part of our snow team, so SWIMS and our other districts, east and west, ultimately down the road, maybe our other partners as well, so that when we're getting ready, which is where it's the most important when we're talking about events, it's in the planning that counts, and this will help us assist with the planning rather than having people run downtown to have a meeting. And so those are the kinds of things. But this is definitely an upgrade as to our process so that both our citizens and our visitors will know how we're handling any snow event or other event, if that's the case as well.
All right. So I guess in a, why should you care deal, I mean, these developments are using our city resources much more efficiently, both for public works and our animal services. And with the technology upgrade here, we're going to have better, faster information to our citizens so they can understand when the snow and ice is removed from our roads. So it should be an upgrade for everybody's quality of life, and we're better prepared to take on these snow and ice events when they come, or any type of natural disaster here. So Scott, to you and your team, great job for everybody. Vanessa, way to go. And what else you got in mind here?
Just to think, I don't want to, real quick, this was a team effort. It was a team effort for facilities. It was a team effort working with signs and markings. It was a team effort with roads and facilities, and a team effort with Matt helping us as well. But there's a few people that they helped us so much that we could get this done. The David Construction, Jason Jones and Justin Neville were kind of the project managers who put up with a lot of us. So we want to thank them for the work that they did. The mayor talked about Dennis, and who really, truly, if this is not my baby, it's Dennis's baby. Did a great job of listening to his clients. And this building reflects that. But I also, in the last group of people I want to talk about are Mike Nolan, the manager. He has put his heart and soul in making sure not just this building is working, but we may not have time to go throughout the other parts of the yard, but if you do, I'm sure we'll be able to get you out there. There's the salt dome, there's a container process is where they're going to do electrical, so if you do want that, we'll have somebody that will go and will take you there. But I want to thank Mike and Pat Jennings and William Hines, from Signs and Markings, who you'll be meeting in a few minutes, who really have, we got a bill, we got an invoice to say it was going to cost us $50,000 for moving from Lexington and Payne and from Newburgh. And it was that Kathy and I said, we've got to find a way because we can't afford the $50,000. Signs and roads all pretty much moved everything that's in this building. So just for that, the team, we want to thank each and every one of them.
3, 2, 1. All right.
This has been a Metro TV production, a public service of Louisville Metro government.